Why is Dimash's performance of My Heart Will Go On awesome? Hi, I'm Dr. Mark, and I'm going to help you sing and perform more like the top artists around the world. I'm a professional voice teacher, performance coach, and opera stage director. I've helped thousands of singers around the world learn the techniques and methods that got the top singers to where they are. Okay, so I'll be honest, going into this, I'm a little nervous about what's going to go on here. Probably like you, I've heard this song way too many times. It's been a while, so maybe I've got over being oversaturated with the song, but we'll see. Interested to see what Dimash does with it. Obviously, I haven't heard him sing it yet. This is the first time I'm hearing him sing it. Hope you enjoy it.
请哈萨克斯坦国宝级歌手迪马希给我们带来电影《泰坦尼克号》当中的经典曲目《我心永恒》，让我们在电影的音乐当中感受到电影艺术的魅力。掌声有请。
Okay, so one of the questions that I think this answers really well when we're doing a performance that has a bunch of different people in it is, why do we have an MC? Why do we have these people that stand up and introduce stuff? Yeah, it's nice to know what's coming up yet. But really, from a showmanship standpoint, it's a way to cover transition, right? If they weren't there and it's just this came out in silence and nothing was going out, it'd be kind of weird. But because they're talking, Dimash can be wheeled out on this set piece here, and it just feels more natural and our attention's diverted so that when they walk away, all of a sudden, oh, there he is. Transitions that are smooth, quick, and effortless are really important.
Every night in my dreams, I see you, I feel you.
Okay, good. So what do we see? What do we hear here at the beginning? Well, we see a lot. There's a lot going on. So we have this screen, we've got a dancer, we got this weird glittering gem heart thingy, we have the lines outlining star patterns, and what are we supposed to make of that? Well, we're supposed to make a few things. Number one, that this is not intended to be a literal storytelling moment, that we are trying to represent the music and what's going on here in a lot of different ways. This little glittery gem thing, it's not realistic. The stars, it's not realistic. So what this tells us is that what we're watching should be interpreted symbolically and not as real life events per se. But the cool thing with symbolism, as long as they are tying it all together in their minds and it makes sense to them, there's a likelihood that'll make sense to us. And even if it doesn't, we're going to try to make meaning out of it. We're going to try to understand that, even if it's on just a subconscious level. So kind of fun to start trying to piece that together and see what are they trying to say with each of those elements, and not just think, oh, it's entertainment, it's fun, it's flashy, but really see if there is meaning to be had. What do we hear? Well, in his scene at the beginning, classic Dimash, we're starting pretty low level, pretty quiet, a little bit aspirate, still open, nice, warm, rich, so it feels romantic and intimate, right? Visually, we have a really cool transition moment from this dancing symbolic visual thing on the screen to the shooting star that comes down, and essentially what that does is that acts like an arrow of now look here, which is brilliant. Love it. And we know exactly where we're supposed to look, and we're looking at Dimash. Let's see where else he goes and what else is going on. Before we do, I want to point out music is relatively still. Consequently, he's relatively still being expressive, but his emotions and movement is matching what the music's calling for. All things that make for an awesome performance.
That is how I know you go on. Far across the distance and spaces between us, you have come to show you go on. Near, far, wherever you are, I believe that the hardest go on.
Do you see any tension? Any pushing? Nope. Nice, easy, relax, calm. He's keeping it super easy. He's not trying to push and make these low notes super loud. He's not trying to make them heavier, warmer, or darker than they are. He's keeping them nice, light, easy, and letting the mic do a lot of the work, which is great. Really smart singing. You'll notice that as the song's going on, his body's becoming more animated. Starting to prepare us for more emotion here probably in a second. Very cool.
Once more you open the door, and you hear in my heart will go on the door.
So how cool is that, right? Maybe I'm reading this wrong and singing it wrong, but what it seems like is we saw these dancers on LED screens, or maybe they're behind them or in front of them. I don't know. And then now we're seeing them meet here in real life in front of us, which is cool. You'll notice that there's a lot going on here visually, right? And it could be distracting. What is making it so it's not? Well, there's a few things. One, there's a clear focal point. That was set up with that star pointing to Dimash. In the highlight spot, he's in the white, really center stage. We know exactly where we're supposed to look. There's this little halo in the projection stuff, the LED screen behind him, so that there's a lighter blue there. So our eyes are all drawn to that center spot where he is. Now we have a softer kind of yellow light on the two dancers. And what that's letting us do is stay focused on him, but then be able to look at them and see what information they're adding to the storytelling. Really, really cool, right? So they're introducing these elements in a way that is really methodical and really builds the storytelling as we go in a way that our brain and mind can follow. If they just emerged out of nowhere at this point and we hadn't seen them before, it would have felt a little abrupt, a little strange. So using those moments, especially the moments where no one's singing yet, to set up your story and the really interesting elements that you're going to want to come back to during that introduction music or the music where someone's not singing, is a great time to do it. So think about the time in the music when you're singing, when you're performing, where you're not actually singing, and think, what can I do there that will really be something I couldn't do while I was singing and would advance the visual interest, that would advance what I'm trying to communicate, give them as much information as I can during those times as I possibly can, so that when it's time to sing, I can be as calm, still expressive, but not feel like I have to be going at it 100% when I'm singing, right? And that's what's going on here. Brilliant.
Love can touch us one time and last for a lifetime, and never let go till we go. Love is when I loved you, what true time I call to, in when I will always go. If I, wherever you are, I believe that the others go.
Okay, my other question for you is, are you understanding what he's saying? Are you understanding the text? Now, English is not his first language. And in my opinion, I think English is one of the hardest languages for people to sing in, or to be able to really make it sound genuine, authentic. I think he's doing an awesome job here. I think he's doing a really excellent job. I'm understanding all the words. Are there little accent moments? Of course. There are and that there's not a problem with that, in my opinion. The important part in any live performance are these three things: believability, clarity, and variety. Clarity on one level is, do we understand what they're communicating? Body language, verbal language, and the musical language, right? And I think he's being extremely clear with all of those. Really, really clean, really clear, really easy to follow. Variety, we're getting variety in all kinds of ways. Colors of his voice, we're going from aspirate to clear to kind of this high, bright, easy sound to this lower, kind of richer, warm, easy sound. And then believability is the other one. And what we mean by that is, can we as an audience watch this and for a moment forget that we're watching a performance? Do we believe that the person on stage really believes what they're saying and that they are a real person in an imaginary world? These three things are things we judge all live performance by. Whether we're aware of it or not, go back and think of the performances you loved. Think of them in those terms and you'll notice the more they meet those three terms, believability, clarity, variety, the more likely you are to enjoy it. Now, there's a fourth one, and that is repeatability. Most audiences aren't going to care about repeatability, but the performer has to. They have to be able to do it night after night after night after night. So this fourth one I'm watching here and thinking, can Dimash do this night after night after night after night after night? Yeah, I think he could. In fact, I'm wondering if he's sick, not because his performance is suffering or there's anything wrong, but because he's singing easier and just like so calm and relaxed and chill that I'm wondering if maybe he's a little under the weather. Just because it's different than usual, we see a little bit more intensity. Again, not a bad thing. I think it matches this song perfectly. And honestly, for some performers, their best performance is when they're sick, because they have to focus on keeping things easy, relaxed, genuine. They don't have the energy to put more into it than would really be believable. I don't know. But what I do know is what I'm seeing here is I'm not seeing any push, any strain, not working hard, just keeping it super easy, but it's still expressive and it's believable. There's clarity, there's variety, and he could do this even if he were sick. And probably he's not, but...
Once more, you open the door and you came in my heart, and my heart will go on
Okay, really interesting. You notice what the lights just did? So they're all focused on him, and then at the end of his last phrase of singing, they all shifted downstage. We kind of get this moon type of feeling on the ground, almost a reflection on the water, right? And it's kind of creating this cool texture on the floor. And then during that transition, he then walks over into that space. All the attention is off the dancers at this point. There's not really much hitting them at this point. What a cool transition. I mean, whoever's running the particular moment in this show did a really great job at thinking through those transitions and making them work really smooth, making them feel organic, and really just taking our attention from one point to the next. Love it.
You're here, there's nothing I feel.
Okay, so my guess is he's not sick, because this is the Dimash I was expecting, right? And again, like classic Dimash, often earlier in the song he keeps it super relaxed and chill, and then we have this kind of big dramatic moment, right? And here it is. It's always exciting to hear because he just lets it rip, right? Cool thing as we're watching here is he's still saying really quite relaxed and comfortable here in the throat, his neck, his shoulders. His hands are more expressive and matching the increase in intensity. So really, as we look back, we think, what a smart plan. Just like usual, is he's being really smart in making sure that he's pacing himself and not singing harder, longer, more difficult stuff than he needs to. But then when it is time, he brings it, and he has a really great dramatic flair, right? Really fun to see this big contrast, and it's just really exciting as an audience. So that's something to learn is there a moment where I can really, or that I really want to heighten the contrast, really make this big explosion type of moment, right? And if that's the case, you really want to think through that and think, how can I keep then one level as low level as possible and the other level, how can I make it as extreme and intense as possible? Because it's that contrast that makes that happen, makes it possible, makes us get super excited. I'm always just floored at how fluidly he transitions between different styles of singing. Now, if it wasn't so deliberate and didn't match so well what was going on text-wise and didn't transition so smoothly between them, I might think is just, well, he's changing style because he has to hit different notes and that's how he's learned to do it. Not the case. He seems to be able to sing any style in any part of his range and make it work, and it's just gorgeous. It then becomes he just has this huge color palette to choose from that he can use at will to paint the picture, tell the story, express what he's wanting to express. I think that's an excellent goal to be trying to achieve. To know how to make as many different colors and sounds as you can possibly make, as long as you can make them easily here, and figure out how to be able to transition between them and use them as you want. The more you can do that, the more freedom of expression you'll have. Love it.
Stay forever this way. You are safe in my heart, and my heart will go on and on.
谢谢。
As always, stunning. Just stunning. Loved what I saw, loved what I heard. An awesome performance. Let me help you find your voice, both as a singer and as a performer. Let me help you perform in a way that's more consistent, more engaging, more genuine and authentic to who you are. You can book a time with me at foundyourvoice.com. You can also get a quick reaction from me or comments, feedback, suggestions by going on to wizio.com and submitting something there for me to respond to. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. Comment down below with what you thought was awesome about this performance, what other performances you think I should be reacting to and commenting on. I look forward to seeing you next time.